Alrighty, with that, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to start on our backs today in Souptabato Konasana. So that means the soles of the feet will come together as the knees fall open when we lay down. If you don't like your knees hovering, you can always place the blocks or pillows or whatever props you may have underneath your knees to provide some extra support. I like to do so. And once you're there, placing your hands by your sides, palms facing upward. If it feels good, you can allow the eyes to close. And beginning to place our attention and our awareness onto our breath. Noticing our inhales and our exhales. And beginning to find a balance between the two, making them equally deep, equally long. And releasing any tension we may be holding in the forehead or the eyelids, any gripping in the hands or fingers. Allowing for a moment for our bodies to melt into the mat, to find a moment of stillness. And with that, you could bring your knees back together, plant your feet onto the mat. If your eyes are closed, you can flutter them open. Bring your palms face down by your sides. Walk the feet so that they're underneath the knees. On your next inhale, press down through the feet, lift up through the hips, opening with a nice bridge pose to open up those hip flexors, especially if we've been sitting all day. Pressing down through the heels, lifting up through the hips, sending the tailbone towards the back of the knees. Inner thighs spinning down, one last breath. Exhale, slowly release, come all the way down. If you had your blocks, you can remove them to the side. And just swish your knees from side to side like windshield wipers, releasing any tension from the hips. Just loosening up. One last round. And come back towards center. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. And from here, you can begin to rock along the base of your spine. So going from hip to neck, rocking up and down, gaining some momentum. And then we can come all the way up into a tabletop position. When we find our tabletop, we have shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. If you'd like to pad up your knees with a blanket, you can do so. From here, make sure the wrist creases are parallel to the front of your mat. We inhale, we press the heart forward, arch the spine, and cow. Exhale, round, reverse. Tailbone comes down, chin towards chest, and cat. We inhale, press the heart forward. Exhale, round, push the mat away. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, cow. Feel the shoulder blades go down along the spine. Exhale, round. Last time. From here, coming back towards center into neutral, just doing a few hip rolls going one way, getting a large range of motion, creating a big circle. And once you get back towards center, just going the other way around. From here, we're going to walk our hands about a few inches forward. Press down through every knuckle, every fingertip. We'll spin the biceps forward as we turn and spin the triceps back. So inner upper arm spin forward. From here, we'll curl the back toes, lift the hips, come into our first downward facing dog. In our down dog, pressing down through every knuckle, every fingertip as we send our hips up and back. If you feel your low back rounding, you can take a bend in your knees, send the hips higher. Firming the ankles directly behind the toes, sending them down. One last breath here. Take the left foot, bring it to the left thumb, drop the back knee. Make sure the front knee is over the ankle. Inhale, come up. We're in a low lunge. In this low lunge, feel the low belly lift, hip bones going up towards the ribs. Feel the tailbone go down. So we have a neutral pelvis. As we press down through the front heel, we lift through all four sides of the waist. One last breath here. And exhale, release the hands down. Take the left hand, send it forward, up, and into a twist, spinning the ribs over towards the left, keeping that front knee in line with the second and third toe, opening up those collarbones. One last breath. And release the hand down. Pick up the back knee. You're in a runner's lunge. Make sure your shoulders are in line with your wrist, and as quietly as possible, you're going to lift that left foot knee to chest and set back into plank, downward facing dog. From here, we'll do the other side. We'll take the right foot towards right thumb, drop the back knee, front knee is over the ankle. We inhale to come up into our low lunge. We're not in a back bend right now, so make sure your front ribs are knitted in, not flaring out. Again, pressing down through that front heel, lifting through all four sides of the waist. From here, bring your hands down and behind you, interlace the fingers, send the knuckles up and back. And release, place both hands onto the mat. We inhale, left, right arm forward and up for a twist. Spinning those ribs over towards the right, keeping the front knee in line with second and third toe. From here, release that hand down, pick up the back knee. You're in a runner's lunge. As quietly as possible, pick up the right foot, knee to nose. Step it back, you're in plank. Come back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Sending the hips up and back. Getting longer from the fingertips to the hips. From here, we'll inhale, press forward into our plank. And we breathe here as we send the heart forward, send the heels back. Make sure your pelvis is neutral, so lifting the low belly into the navel, sending the tailbone down towards the heels. From here, drop down to your knees. Lower all the way down onto your bellies. Bring your hands by your low ribs, elbows over wrists. Your forehead could be down onto the mat. On your next inhale, peel head, shoulders, and chest for low cobra. Pinning the elbows in, rolling the shoulder blades back. Press down through every toe, even the pinky toe, as we send the tailbone down towards the heels. Keeping the neck nice and long. One last breath. Maybe go a little bit higher. Inhale, come up and back for a brief child's pose. From here, find your way back to all fours. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. From here, we'll step the feet forward in between the hands. Grab opposite elbows, bend, put a small bend in your knees and hang out in ragdoll. Crown of the head going down towards the mat. Maybe rock the elbows side to side, releasing tension in the low back. From here, release the elbows, press down through the feet, lift up through the chest, come all the way up, hands towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center and by your sides. Finding our mountain pose, feet could either be hips width apart or big toes together, little space between the heels. Pressing down through all four corners of the feet, we lift through the inner arches energetically. We could lift the low belly up into our ribs. Frontal hip bones coming up towards our ribs, tailbone going down, neutral pelvis. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head going up towards the sky, noticing all that goes into standing up nice and tall and stable in our mountain pose. From here, we inhale, arms come up towards the sky. We exhale and fold forward. Hands by our feet or on blocks. We inhale, find a halfway lift, a flat back, maybe bending knees to get there. Exhale, fold in. Placing hands on the mat, step back. You're in a plank. On your exhale, lower chaturanga, elbows brush ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Spinning the inner upper arms forward, firming the outer upper arms back. And from here, step or hop your feet towards your hands. We inhale, we find a flat back, lift shoulders and ears. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press all the way up, hands towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center and by our sides. So do that 2 more times. We inhale, Utthita-hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your plank. Lower for chaturanga, maybe your knees are on the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Can we find that still breath that we had in the beginning of the class as we begin to gain some heat? And when you're ready, step or hop to the front of your mat. We meet in an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press up, hands to the sky. Hands to heart center and by our sides. One last time, if you're hopping to chaturanga, make sure you're hopping to bent elbows and not to straight arms. Inhale, arms come up, Utthita-hastasana. Exhale, hinge from the hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog, hands and feet only on the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job. We did 3 sun salves, lots of heat building here. And from here, we'll take the left leg, we'll send it straight up towards the sky, bend the knee, bring the heel towards the glutes, open up the hip. From here, step that foot forward towards your left thumb, spin the back heel down so that your heels align, press the front knee over that ankle and inhale up into your warrior two. Looking over left fingertips. Pressing down through the front heel to lift through all four sides of the waist. Pressing down through the back pinky edge of the foot to make sure that back leg is nice and straight and strong. From here, inhale, straighten the front leg, send both arms up, stretch. Exhale, rebend that knee. Bring the elbow onto the thigh, extend the right hand up and over for extended side angle. Spinning the ribs out towards the right. Option to stay here, or if you have a block, you can place it on the outside of that left foot. Place your hand on it for a deeper extended side angle. One last breath. From here, press down through the feet, lift back up, warrior two, straighten the front leg. Inhale, left hand comes up, slide the right hand down the back thigh. Reverse triangle. Nice release here. And when you're ready, bend the front knee, windmill the hands down, remove the block, pick up the back heel. You're in a runner's lunge. Take a breath here. And from here, turn all 10 toes to face the left edge of your mat. Heel toe that front foot so that your knee is in line with your left hip. Lift your left arm straight up towards the sky. You're in modified side plank. Make sure wrists and shoulders are aligned. Lifting that right hip. How we could lift that right hip is by energetically pressing through that right big toe mound. One last breath here. And when you're ready, come back to your runner's lunge. Step back into your plank and just go to downward facing dog or take child's pose, whichever is best for you today. From here, we'll do the other side. So if you're in child's pose, come to your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Gotta open the hip first. Take that right foot, step it towards right thumb. Spin the back heel down so that your heels are aligned. Press that knee over the ankle. We inhale to come up to our warrior two on the other side. Noticing if one hip is more hiked up than the other, you can place your hands on your hips. Make sure they're aligned with one another. Especially that back hip might want to go up a bit. From here, straighten the front leg, lift both arms straight up, and exhale, rebend, extend the arms once again. Option to either place the elbow onto the thigh or hand onto a block outside of the right foot for extended side angle. That left arm comes up and over. We spin the ribs over towards the left. Neck is nice and long. Palm facing down. Keeping that front knee in line with second and third toe. One last breath. Press down through the front heel, lift up, come back to your warrior two, straighten the front leg, lift the right hand up, slide the left hand down as we come into reverse triangle. From here, windmill hands come down onto the mat. Remove the block, pick up the back heel. In a runner's lunge, take a breath. From here, we can turn all 10 toes over towards the right to find ourselves in modified side plank. Pressing through that left big toe mound to lift up that left hip, turn on your obliques. And from here, we turn all 10 toes back. You're back in your runner's lunge. We'll step back into plank. Either take your vinyasa or we all meet in downward facing dog. For 5 breaths. From here, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press all the way up. Hands to heart center and by your sides. Take a moment in your mountain pose to feel grounded, to find stillness. And to find that breath, that still breath we had towards the beginning of the class. And from here, we'll add on to what we just did. So I would recommend having a block by the top of your mat just so it's easy to grab onto. So finding our Tadasana, either feet hip distance or big toes touching, a little space between the heels. We inhale, arms come up. Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we'll take that left foot, step it towards the left thumb, spin the back heel down. We lift back up into that warrior two. From here, we'll take that block, place it on the outside of the left foot, or you can place your elbow onto your thigh as we come back into extended side angle. Breathing here, spinning the ribs over. You got this. Press down through the back pinky edge of the foot. From here, press down through the front heel, lift back up into that warrior two, but we are going to triangle. So we straighten out the front leg. You can place your hands on your hips, heel toe the back foot a little bit closer in. From here, extend your hands back out. Begin to send the back hip really far back as you send your front hand and the crown of the head forward, 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 forward. Once you can't go any more forward, you place that hand either onto a block, onto your shin, or onto the mat. Lift that right hand up towards the sky. You're in triangle. So we want to make sure that our spine is really long here. So that might mean that we want to get higher up on a block or wherever our hand placement is. We want to be as long as possible from our hips to the crown of the head. We want to make sure that front leg is completely straight. And we breathe. And from here, we rebend the front knee. We inhale, press back up to our warrior two. We straighten the front leg once again. Extend the left hand up for reverse triangle. From here, rebend the front knee. Spin the hands down. Come back into a runner's lunge. From here, press down through the front heel. Energetically send that left hip back and in. And from here, spin that back inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Inhale, arms come up. You're in crescent lunge. One breath here. Exhale, hands come down onto the mat. Step the left foot back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side after a few breaths here in down dog, finding our breath. Noticing any differences between one side and another. And from here, we'll step the right foot forward towards right thumb, spin back heel down, maybe place the block by that right foot, and we inhale, press up into warrior two once again. Making sure that front knee is over the ankle, and we're spinning this inner thigh up towards the ceiling to keep that front knee in line with the second and third toe. From here, we go for extended side angle, either elbow onto the thigh or hand onto block on the outside of that right foot. Palm facing down, spinning the ribs over towards the left, pressing down through the back pinky edge of the foot. From here, press down through the front heel, lift back up into your warrior two. Straighten the front leg, hands onto hips. Shift that back foot a little bit closer in. You can extend your hands once again. As we send the left hip back, we send the right hand and the crown of the head forward, 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 forward. Don't think down, think forward. And once you can't go any more forward, you place the hand where it's comfortable. Long in the spine. Collarbones broad and spacious. Spinning the ribs over towards the left. Placing the neck wherever comfortable, you can look down, you can look forward, or you can do the traditional way, which is looking up towards your left fingertips. One last breath here. We rebend the front knee. Inhale, press back up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, lift the right arm up, reverse triangle. And from here, come back to neutral. Place hands on hips. Turn all 10 toes to face the long left edge of your mat. For a moment here, we'll bring our hands behind us, interlace the fingers. Do the opposite way you usually do. So if it's usually left over right, just do right over left or whatever feels unfamiliar to you. Send the knuckles up and back. And release. Place hands on hips. Hinge from the hips as you fold forward. Place hands in line with your feet. Elbows over the wrists. And let the head hang. And straddle fold. From here, inhale, find a halfway lift. Put a bend into that left knee. And come back towards center. Do the right side. And do one more time either way. So left knee bends and right knee bends. From here, place hands on hips. Inhale, come all the way back towards standing. Turn the right foot back out. Place your hands on either side of that right foot. Spin the back heel up. You're in runner's lunge. Step the right foot back. You're in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, everyone. Lots of hard work today. And from here, we'll drop the knees down, bring the big toes together, send the hips back, find a nice child's pose. If your forehead doesn't touch the mat in child's pose, you can bring it onto a block or onto your fists. But if you do have a block, it's nice because you can place your hands by your sides, let the shoulders relax. From child's pose, slowly roll up so that you're sitting onto your ankles in hero pose. If this is a lot for you, you can just come to any seated posture for right now. Or if you have blocks, and this is a lot, you can place a block in between your legs, in between your ankles, I should say. It'll help give you some height, which will relieve any pain and stuff you might have in your knees. But just take whatever modifications are right for you. Once we're here, we'll bring our hands down by our sides onto fingertips. We inhale to sit tall. And on the exhale, we'll bring our right ear towards our right shoulder. And inhale, come back towards center. And do the other side, left ear towards left shoulder. And from here, we come back towards center. We'll bring our chin down towards our chest. Nice stretch along the back of the neck. And from here, we'll look forward and we'll find our way into Dandasana, staff pose, which is a seated pose with our feet out in front of us. If you have a blanket or a pillow, I always recommend sitting onto it so that you can get some height. Helps you keep a neutral pelvis. So with your feet out in front of you, bring your big toes together, little space between the heels. From here, place your hands by your sides. Help push down to sit up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Flex the feet so that all 10 toes are facing you, even the pinky toes going towards your face. Getting a slight internal rotation in our legs. And from here, we'll place a small bend in our knees. We'll begin to walk the hands forward as we come into a forward fold. With every inhale, getting longer in the spine, sending the crown of the head forward. With every exhale, maybe going a little lower, or maybe straightening out the knees a tiny bit. And from here, we'll slowly roll up. From here, we'll do lion or cow face arms. So we'll take our peace fingers and we'll bring them on the inside of our right knee. We'll push our knee up towards our chest. We'll cross that foot over and we'll align our knees together, so sending that foot back. Now, if this is a lot, it is for me, you stay here. I'm going to stay here, but I'm going to just demonstrate to you if you'd like to go a little bit deeper. You would also bend that left leg and send the left foot back. So this is a lot on our hips, and once we're here, we want to make sure we're equally sitting on our sitting bones and that there's absolutely no pain in either one of our knees. So if that's the case, please exit, straighten out one of your legs. So I'm going to keep it with just my right leg bent over my left, but you do what's right for you. From here, we inhale that right hand up. We bend the elbow so that the hand comes to the back of the neck or the middle of the upper back. We take that left hand, we place it onto the left elbow, kind of adjusting it, getting some more space to send that hand down. Option to stay here, or you can take that left hand behind you And try to reach both hands so that fingertips touch. It's totally okay if fingertips don't touch. Just going towards one another. Keeping the neck nice and long. You can stay here, or you can fold in. I like to stay nice and tall, so whatever you guys would like to do. Just breathing. And when you're ready, release the arms and release the legs. Extend that right leg forward. Noticing any difference, maybe shaking it out in the knees a bit. And we'll do the other side. So we'll cross that right knee over your left, sending that left foot back. If you'd like to go deeper, you can also bend that right leg and place the foot also by your left hip. Yes. So wherever you are, just finding your spot, making sure both sit bones are on the mat. We inhale, left arm comes up. We bend the elbow, bring that hand to the back of our neck or towards the middle of our upper back. Take that right hand, so many lefts and rights. Place it onto the left elbow to adjust it, get some more space in that tricep. From here, you can take the right hand behind us. Reach for fingertips. Remember, if there's any pain in that knee, we release this pose, keeping the neck nice and long, opening up the shoulders. One last breath here. And release. Release the hands, extend the foot back out. Come out from on top of your blanket or whatever you are on. And we'll slowly make our way onto our backs. From here, we'll tee out our arms wide. We'll bring our knees up in towards our chest. We'll send our hips a little bit over to the right and drop our knees over towards the left for a nice twist. And when you're ready, come back towards center. And we'll do the other side, so we'll shift our hips over towards the left, lift the knees and drop them over towards the right. From here, we inhale, come back towards center. Find the midline of your mat. You can switch the knees from left to right. And coming back towards center, we have a few options for our final resting pose. You can, of course, take your traditional Shavasana with your feet extended out in front of you. You can do Souptabato Konasana, which is how we started today's class, which is on our backs. We bring our soles of our feet together and let the knees fall apart from one another. Or if you have a block, you can bring your feet underneath your knees for a moment. Lift the hips just to slide one block on the low or medium height underneath your low back. You can stay here or you can walk your feet out for a nice hip release. Wherever you are, to place your hands by your sides, palms facing up if that's comfortable, maybe closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze. Releasing any unnecessary tension we may still be holding in our forehead, our eyelids, space between the eyebrows, our jaw, our tongue, any gripping in the hands or feet. And allowing ourselves to come into this moment, to place all our attention and awareness onto our breath, allowing it to anchor us down and to melt into the mat. Shavasana. Inviting a long breath in, and a clearing breath out. Introducing small movements into the body, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rocking the head left and right. If you have a block underneath you, you can walk your feet in. Lift the hips for a moment to remove it. And wherever you are, keeping the eyes closed, you can bring your knees into your chest. Give yourselves a hug. Extend your right arm over to the side. Bend the elbow, creating a pillow, so that we could fall over towards our right side in a fetal position. From here, at your own pace, keeping your eyes closed, you can push yourself up to find a comfortable seated position. And once we're there, sitting up nice and tall, placing hands on legs wherever comfortable, and relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, sending the crown of the head up. Inviting a sense of dignity and gratitude for our bodies and for our health, for all it's allowed us to do today, and for ourselves for showing up on this mat. And with that, we bring our hands to heart center. And I bow to you, saying the light within me recognizes, honors, and salutes that same light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in today's vinyasa class. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you'd like to give me any feedback or you have any questions or just want to reach out to me, you can message me on Facebook or email me at alyssa@blissyoga.com. To know more about when I'm going to be teaching my Zoom or Facebook Live or in-person classes, or to learn more about private clients, just come to my website, subscribe to my newsletter. It's weekly. And also, I also want to say thank you guys for being here. And if you have the opportunity to support this practice, you can Venmo or Cash App me whatever amount is okay at Alyssa Vadas. And there's more information in the description of this video. But with that, thank you.